This is us at the Costa Group, segment number. I'm joking, Jamie. I'm not going to say segment number. Today we have Dee Sgro. She's in front of me. I don't know. Do we say left or right? I never know if it's my left or my right. I'm always wrong about
left.
that.
To your left.
No, I think you're in front of me. Edward would be to my left. Edward Salazar. Do I say your name right, Edward?
You do.
Do I?
You have
Salazar? Edward, I always worry. I'm like, the last video I did, I was like, did I do Edward's name correctly? I feel like I did it wrong, but you never say anything, so I never know if I'm doing it right or wrong. So anyways, today we have Edward. When I approached Edward, he was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, but Dee, the last time you did a podcast, how did you feel about it?
Actually, I felt good. Obviously, when you get asked that first question, it's intimidating, even though we know what we're talking about, But when it was done, I felt empowered. I was like, yes.
So when I asked you now, you were like, Edward, you can do this.
Oh, yeah. Go, Edward.
But I mean, like, I need to be ready. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No,
like,
I think with podcasts, you don't. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, we talked, and I remember we were talking about this this week, me and Zervain, and we were trying to figure out, how do we want these podcasts to go? Do we want it to be all about mortgages? Do we want it to be all about, life? But you know what? It's a mixture. It's a mixture of our personalities. You know what? Let's get to know who Edward is. What market do you handle? Dee, what do you like to see, with clients, them preparing their documents, or everyday Dee? You know what I mean? I believe that, our podcasts are going to be what showcase our personality and who we are as human beings, right? So when you're looking to hire a mortgage broker or a mortgage agent, is Edward or Dee or Carmen or Aaron or whoever's on the team, Glenn, are they your suitable broker, right? Because when you go through the process of hiring a mortgage broker or an agent, what do you look for? What qualities do you look for? Because let's be realistic with each other. Everybody's offering the same product. Everybody is offering the same 5-year fixed, right? So when you're looking, I guess that'll be the general question out there, and I'd love to see on comments and, on shares or whatever, like just comment below and let us know, what are you looking for in a mortgage broker? Like, do you look at it as just what's your best 5-year fixed? I had that last week, and I want to touch upon that. What's the best 5-year fix? My question to that, like I responded back to her was, it's not necessarily about the best 5-year fix. What about your situation? Are you married? Do you have any kids? Are you getting married? Is this for investment purposes? Are you a first-time buyer? Is the 5-year product the best product for you? So Dee, like, what are your thoughts on that when it comes to that?
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, because even today I had said that. I said, everyone's always asking, what's the best rate? What's the best rate? It's all about the rate. And, with today's, mortgage rules, it should be, can I get approved? Getting approved should be the number one concern, not about the rate, right?
Yeah.
Do
Edward?
you agree?
What I tell my clients is not about the rate. It's more, what I tell them is that to pay attention to the whole package, the whole mortgage
Edward.
package.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the amortization, how long is it going to be, the term?
Right.
Is it going to be variable? Is it going to be fixed? There are so many things that are more important than rate. Rate's pretty much a given, right? So it comes to risk. If the risk is not that high, then you're going to get the lowest rate.
You're right. No, but Edward, you're right. And that's the thing I wanted to mention is everybody, when you get a call, Edward, what is it? What's your 5-year? What's the best 5-year fix? What's the best 5-year variable? Yeah. Like, are we even in that market anymore? We're not in 2017, beginning of 2018. We're not there anymore. We're not. Like, we're in a different era where you need to understand your situation. Because if you think that you're just going to ask what's the best 5-year fix, is that the best product for you? So how do you think, Edward, how do you think we should handle situations like that? When somebody's calling, like, I literally put the brakes on it. I told the woman, I think I threw her for a loop. I said, so did you take all factors into consideration? And she's like, well, what do you mean? I said, it's not just about the 5-year fix, it's about your whole portfolio.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like how do you handle and this is just the one time that I got what's your best 5-year fix, right? I can imagine like Dee, you get all the clients in front of you. You must get that on a daily basis.
Oh, 100%. You know where it affects the most is people that are self-employed, because they have, they'll say, oh, I made $100,000 last year and I did, 200,000. And then when you look at, their T1 generals, all their income docs, it doesn't match up, right? Either the accountant made an error or, they've written off so much stuff. So now, how can you tell somebody, yeah, your rate is, 3% or 299, and then after you actually looked at all their documents, it's like, whoa, hold on here. Now we have another issue to deal with, because now this lender that's offering that 299, it doesn't fit his income or his situation. So, that's one thing, like I always stress, even today, I'm like, how does any mortgage broker or agent, can disclose a rate right off the top of the bat? I don't understand that. How can you tell somebody, yeah, you know what, my rate right now is 5-year fixed, 3.2%, without even looking at anybody's,
situation.
Yeah.
I agree.
How is that possible? And any agent that can just tell you right off the bat without looking at stuff, I'd stay clear.
I agree. Edward, what are your thoughts on that?
Like I said at the beginning, like the first thing that I tell my clients is like, do not pay attention to the rates. And to be honest, I'm quite happy when people ask me about the rates at the beginning, because that pretty much tells me that they don't know much about mortgages. And
that's such a good indicator. You're right, Edward.
That's very good, Edward.
Actually, that's very good.
So once they said that at the beginning, and then I know that I pretty much have to guide them and teach them the whole process. And what I said to them is that, give me 5-10 minutes and for me to give you an explanation. And if you still want to know the rate at the end, I'll give you a rate. But I mean, like, it can change. It can be more or less.
No, you're right. You're so right. And like even hiring, I know on Mondays we do a lot of, the motivational Mondays, and we do a lot of the, I guess you would call it self-building, building your personalities, self-reflection, like meditation, trying to improve you guys. I know Bill, in his interview last week, he's like, in the beginning I was like, why am I doing this? Like, this makes no sense. When we started this venture, guys, I do want to know, Dee, what did you think when I started, Motivational Mondays with, building, just decent human beings, right? When we started doing the self-reflection and, all of that stuff, what did you feel about that? Like the videos that get played and, just everything that I touch base on.
I love Motivational Mondays, because I'm that type of person that I need that motivation, to remind me, I need to hear it. I need to watch those videos that are so empowering, because it's a reminder, right? Because everyday situations, we have, our business, which can be, stressful at times.
To say the least. To say the least.
Dealing with so many underwriters and different personalities that you have to adapt to, and then, your personal life, at home and your friends.
100%.
So having that motivation and being around people with the same mindset, it's like the best day of the week. It gets our whole week right on path, right? And then I take it home. So before I even come to the office every day now, I do watch those motivation, those videos, whether it's Les Brown, Tony Robbins,
100%.
You know what I mean? But for me, it's like the perfect day to start the day, because it starts on a positive, note, and then it just reminds you, it stays in your head the rest of the day, right?
You're right. You're 100% correct. Edward?
To be honest, the videos I really don't care about. What I care about is that to see
Wow. Control. This is my Edward.
Wow.
what I care about to see my coworkers. You know what I mean? Like first thing in the morning, and that laugh, and we know that it's gonna be a long day, and a lot of questions about mortgages and stuff like that. It's a struggle. So pretty much it's like. It's a beginning in the morning, like first thing Monday morning, that it's gonna be tough. You know what I mean? Like, and just to have to me it's like more like coworkers.
You know what? Let's touch upon that. Edward was here early yesterday. Edward's usually the last one to arrive. And yet at 9:30 when I arrived in the it was about 9:15. I arrived in the office. I'm like, oh my God, the carpet's outside. Somebody's robbing our office. Oh my God. Then I opened the door and I see Edward. I think I stood there for 5 minutes like, what the hell's going on? Right?
He was here today. Before.
No, he wasn't.
Yes. I come in the office, I saw
Edward,
the carpet,
what's going on?
and I said,
you know what?
Here?
Talking about that this motivational videos are bullshit. He's
That's 2 days in a row, Edward.
I know, that's scary. I'm like, what's going on, Edward? Like, why are you here?
Gotta do.
Yeah.
Edward, I'm supposed to be the first one here. When I see that
Not
carpet
anymore, Dee.
at the door, I'm like, damn it, someone else is here.
By the way, I was here Sunday?
Were you here Sunday?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so proud of you, Edward. Like, honestly, you're
somebody
got to
work, right?
Somebody's gotta work.
There we go. No, but I'm touching upon these videos. I know, Edward, you're like, but I see you crying. I look over to the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You sit right next to me. So let's be realistic. These videos are pretty powerful.
They are.
They are. And the reason for it, though, I remember I just watched our first podcast, and I'm like, you know what? That's why I was doing it, because I was like, maybe I'm doing too much with those videos, but they are good videos because all of you have changed in so drastically. Like when I look at from the first time that you guys started to today, like the changes, when you're looking at the first podcast, you're like, holy, a lot of people have changed, right? So the reasoning with those videos is, it does create good salespeople. And that's what I wanted to come to. When I go and hire somebody, and I wholeheartedly say this, maybe because I'm spiritual, people would say I'm spiritual, or, I need a connection with the person. Like, I don't just go out and say, hey, I'm going to hire an accountant, I'm just going to hire whoever comes in front of me because they have the best rate out there. I honestly look at the person and then I see, okay, do I have a connection? Are they good? Or, if they're an asshole, I can determine if they are. But my thing is like, how do clients hire us? Like, do you want to deal with douchebags? Like if you think about it, like there's a lot of people that are out there that are not so good, right? They're classified as douchebags, right? So my theory is, when I sit there and clients ask me and they're laughing in the first 5 minutes they're talking to me, I'm like, I think I pretty much got you, right? So I'm like, I pretty much think we've got a connection here. And I do that now. I'm like, I feel like we've got a connection. But how do clients, how do you figure, do clients actually hire based on the person, right? Or are you literally, would you compromise getting the best 5-year fixed and dealing with a douchebag? Do you know what I mean? Because you have to, if you're cutting your rate right to the bottom as a mortgage broker and a mortgage agent, what are you actually looking for? Are you looking for quality or quantity, right? Yeah. That's pretty damn scary, right? So when I think about all these brokerages out there that are cutting their rate right to the bottom, because you are doing it, right? Because if you got a rate that's 0.3 below mine, you're cutting that rate drastically and you're not getting paid on that deal, right? So you're making our business look bad when you're doing stuff like that. Yeah. So how does that equal to your integrity as a mortgage broker and a mortgage agent? And why would clients want to deal with that? Because ultimately, if you're not getting paid for that deal, you're honestly treated as a number. Yeah. Right? Because when you cut your rate to the bottom where you're not getting paid, you're looking at quantity and you want a lot of mortgage transactions. You know what I mean? You want a lot. You want to process a lot. Do you guys know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
what are your thoughts on that?
This is why when I posted about the hotel ratings, I'm like, you get a 2-star or you get a 5-star. You could pay 2-star resort for what, $300-400 sometimes, especially if you're going to Cuba, But for a 5-star resort, yeah, okay, you're going to spend over $1,000. But look at the difference in quality when you go to each resort based on, service, food, the amenities that they have. And it's the same thing with mortgage brokers and agents. You want to discount your rate to the lowest to grab onto clients. I don't want to run my business that way because I know what I have to offer.
Exactly.
And you can't put a price on that.
No.
You know, I answered an email to a client Sunday night at 9:30 while I was lying in bed. I had my phone. I saw the email, and you know what? Did I have to answer that? No, I didn't have to. But that's the service that we all offer here at the Costa Group.
100%.
So it takes 2 seconds, and you know what? The client was shocked. He's like, "Wow, I didn't expect you to answer."
And I did see that email because you forwarded it.
I did not expect you to answer at a Sunday night. He goes, like, that is top notch. You know, did he worry about rate? No, because it was our service combined destroyed that rate. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes down to value.
Yeah, value.
And commitment.
Yeah.
Right? So pretty much if our clients, for example, if I get a client, the commitment that I give to that client is like pretty much 100% regardless of the amount of the mortgage value. And not only that, you know, like if I have any questions, pretty much I can ask any of you guys. So if just to come up with the right answers, we have it right here, right? So pretty much it comes down to value. So I have most of my clients, 99% of my clients, they don't worry or they don't ask for rates pretty much because I just said that at the beginning. You know
That's
what I mean?
smart.
Like,
That's very smart that you cover that. No, I agree, Edward. That's very smart that you cover that. But I just feel that I honestly, just me as a human being, and all of you guys know, I read the person. I'm like, am I comfortable with them? Like, you got to go through an interview process with me before I hire you, right? And that's like, and I'm talking about every day. You know, the contractor doing the window in my house. Like, I'm interviewing to see if I like you as a human being, right? Because nobody wants to deal with a douchebag, right? No, and like, and I hate saying that, but in life in general, like the girl in front of me at Tim Hortons today, so the car before her was taking a while and she was beeping the horn. And I sat there, I did an Edward. I sat there and I started analyzing. I was like, why is she beeping the horn like a maniac? It literally was 2 minutes. But you're that impatient that you're beeping the horn. And like, now you've got me all rattled up. I'm like, I just want to get out of this car, right? But I'm like, it's crazy. I'm like, how does that happen, that chain of events? But you know what I did to offset it? I pulled up to the window and I said, the 3 cars behind me, can I pay for their coffee? Just to offset it,
you
right?
Did?
I did.
That's so nice.
Because I felt that horrible behavior that even for, I think it was a split second that I wanted to get out and tell her, like, slow down. What's your problem, man? Yeah. And it was just the aggression that she caused me. I thought, you know what? I have to offset this. One way or another, I have to offset it in the universe. And we're huge on this, right? So I'm like, I'm going to pay for the 3 cars behind me. Thank God they only got coffee. So whoever I did pay for, thank you for only getting a coffee. It was a coffee, a tea, and I think another coffee. So thank you for not buying any food.
If they had a bagel, cancel it.
Cancel that order. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so I'm taken back when people sit there and they're like, I really like you, but there's a better rate out there. And I'm like, why compromise 0.1%?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense to me, right? So it's just the craziest thing, you know. We sit here and we go through this every Monday. We try to improve ourselves. We're working on us for ultimately the client experience. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that. So you guys are doing so good every morning. Like, every morning, I know you guys are doing your gratification or your, gratitude, your motivation, you know, everything, your meditation, because you want to be decent human beings. Because when that deal goes south, D, you're going to be composed and you're going to find a solution. So Edward, I remember a while ago, you're like, when your deal went south and I was very calm and I took control of the situation and I solved your problem.
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and I was calm and you're like, I don't understand how you're so calm doing it. That's what I'm teaching you guys. So now, if something goes south,
I'll ask you.
We call Carmen.
Carmen!
Oh my God!
Carmen!
And then we're like, okay.
Edward, that's not how it's supposed to go.
The funniest thing is you're talking to the client on the phone. You have to stay composed at all times, right? So we're talking, don't ever freak out.
Time.
So you're just like, yes, okay, don't worry, I got this covered. Then you hang up. You're like, oh my God! And then it's like, you get that out of your system. It's like, okay, now we find a solution.
Stop slamming.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I get passionate when I talk.
No, but T, you're right. And like, Edward, I agree with you guys. That's the thing. Like, I'm teaching you guys to be composed in these situations.
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, kudos to the team that come in Monday mornings at 9:30. Edward, good job. Kudos to the team
Edward.
that comes in and, and puts the time in. You guys are putting your time in, right? And, you reap what you sow. So whatever you put in there, you're reaping, and you're going to sow what you put in, right? So you guys are doing an awesome job. So I guess this will tie up our podcast for today. Dee, Edward, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you, Carmen.
I know. Edward, was that bad?
Thank you, Carmen.
See? So thank you again for listening. I appreciate it, and continue to listen to us.